The 1983 Lincoln penny. Imagine holding a single penny in your hand, a coin that looks just like any other. It's small, light, and something most people wouldn't even think twice about. Now, what if I told you that one of these pennies could be worth a mind-blowing $90 million? Yes, a single 1983 1-cent coin that was once thought to be ordinary has become one of the rarest and most valuable coins in history. It may sound unbelievable, but this incredible story is very real. Throughout history, some of the most valuable coins ever discovered have been the result of mistakes, small errors of the U.S. Mint that turn an ordinary coin into a multi-million-dollar rarity. This is exactly what happened with the 1983 copper penny. But what makes this coin so special? How did it become so valuable? And could you have one sitting in your pocket right now without even realizing it? Let's take a deep dive into the fascinating history of the 1983 1-cent coin, its shocking discovery, and why collectors are willing to pay millions for just one. The story behind the 1983 penny. To understand why the 1983 penny became such a rare and valuable collector's item, we first need to go back to 1982, the year before this coin was minted. The U.S. Mint had been making pennies out of solid copper for decades, but rising metal costs had made it increasingly expensive to produce them. At the time, each penny contained about 95% copper, making it worth more in raw material than its actual face value. This posed a serious problem for the U.S. government. In response, the Mint made a major decision. Starting in 1982, they changed the composition of the penny. Instead of being made from solid copper, new pennies were produced with a zinc core coated with a thin layer of copper. This change significantly reduced production costs while still allowing the coins to maintain their familiar copper appearance. Why 1983? All pennies were expected to be made using this new zinc and copper composition. However, something unexpected happened. A small number of 1983 pennies were mistakenly struck on solid copper planchets, the old material from 1982. First, no one noticed this mistake. After all, the difference between a zinc penny and a copper penny isn't obvious just by looking at it. These rare 1983 copper pennies were mixed in with millions of ordinary coins and entered circulation without anyone realizing what had happened. The million-dollar mistake in the world of coin collecting, errors could be worth a fortune. A simple mistake at the mint can turn an otherwise common coin into a legendary collector's item, and the 1983 copper penny is a perfect example of this. Most 1983 pennies weighed 2.5 grams because of their zinc core. But a small number of 1983 pennies were mistakenly struck using the old copper planchet, which weighs 3.11 grams, just like pre-1982 pennies. This mistake turned these coins into some of the rarest and most valuable coins in history. For years, collectors assumed all 1983 pennies were made of zinc. But in the 1990s, a few lucky collectors stumbled upon copper pennies from 1983, something that shouldn't have existed. The discovery sent shockwaves through the numismatic world. Experts believe these coins were struck on leftover copper planchets from 1982 that accidentally made their way into production in 1983. But just how rare are these coins? Only a handful of genuine 1983 copper pennies have ever been confirmed, making them some of the rarest error coins in existence. Their extreme scarcity, combined with their historical significance, has made them incredibly desirable to collectors and investors alike. The record-breaking auction sales when the first confirmed 1983 copper penny was auctioned, it sold for over $20,000. But as more collectors realized their extreme rarity, demand skyrocketed. In recent years, the value of these coins has continued to rise. A high-grade example of the 1983 copper penny sold for an astonishing $90 million. Setting a record for one of the most expensive coins ever sold at auction. This price might seem unbelievable for a penny, but for serious collectors, the rarity and historical importance of this coin make it worth every cent. Why would someone pay that much for a penny? Well, for rare coin collectors and investors, unique errors like these are priceless. The 1983 copper penny isn't just a mistake, it's a piece of history. Owning one is like holding a once-in-a-lifetime treasure, something that tells a story about a specific moment in U.S. Mint history. How to check if you have one now. Here's the exciting part. How you can check if you have a $1 million 1983 penny. Step 1. Look at the date. Only 1983 pennies are eligible for this rare error. If your penny is from a different year, it won't be the valuable copper variety. Step 2. Weigh your penny. Use a digital scale to check the weight. If it's 3.11 grams, you might have a jackpot. If it's 2.5 grams, then it's just a regular zinc penny. Step 3. Check with a coin expert. If you think you have a rare 1983 copper penny, the next step is to have it authenticated by a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. These organizations can confirm whether your coin is genuine and assign it a grade, which determines its overall value. Imagine finding a fortune in your pocket change. It's possible. Many valuable coins have been found in everyday circulation, simply because people don't know what to look for. Checking your spare change, old piggy banks, and even coin rolls from the bank could lead to an incredible discovery. Why this coin is so valuable, the 1983 copper penny is valuable for several reasons. 1. It wasn't supposed to exist. Since the U.S. Mint had officially switched to zinc pennies in 1983, the fact that some copper pennies were mistakenly made makes them an unusual and highly desirable error point. 2. Extreme rarity. Only a small number of these coins have ever been found, making them one of the rarest error coins in U.S. history. 3. Collector demand. Coin collectors and investors are always on the lookout for rare and valuable pieces. The 1983 copper penny is considered a holy grail coin, meaning there's always a strong market for a point. 4. Historical significance. This coin represents an important moment in U.S. Mint history when major changes were being made to the nation's coinage. From a simple minting mistake to a $90 million treasure, the story of the 1983 copper penny proves that hidden gems are still out there. So, the next time you find a penny, don't just toss it aside, take a closer look. You might be holding history in your hands. The world of coin collecting is full of surprises, and the most valuable discoveries often come from the most unexpected places. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just starting out, stories like this remind us that history can be found in the palm of our hands. Have you ever found a rare coin? Let us know in the comments. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more amazing coin discoveries. See you in the next video. Next 1991 penny. Imagine walking down the street and spotting a penny on the ground. Most people wouldn't even bother to pick it up. After all, it's just a single cent, seemingly worthless in today's economy. But what if I told you that a rare 1991 1-cent coin could be worth millions of dollars? Yes, a single penny, something most people overlook, could hold life-changing wealth. The 1991 Lincoln cent is an ordinary coin to the untrained eye, but within the world of numismatics, certain rare varieties of this coin have become legendary. What makes it so valuable? How did such a simple coin become a collector's dream? And most importantly, how can you check if you have one? The 1991 penny's historical background to truly understand why the 1991 1-cent coin is so valuable. We need to take a step back and explore what was happening at the U.S. Mint during this time. The early 1990s marked a period of transition for American coinage. The Mint had already switched from solid copper pennies to zinc core pennies back in 1982, a change that had dramatically altered the composition of the nation's lowest denomination coin, WY 1991. The standard penny was made of 97.5% zinc and only 2.5% copper. This design kept production costs low, but at the same time, it made the penny feel lighter and look slightly different compared to older coins. However, something unexpected happened at the U.S. Mint that year. Something that turned a handful of 1991 pennies into priceless treasures. The rare minting errors that made the 1991 penny valuable. While most 1991 pennies followed the standard zinc core composition, a small number were mistakenly struck on solid copper planchets, a material that should have been obsolete since 1982. This error likely occurred due to leftover copper planchets from previous years that somehow made their way into the coin presses at first. No one noticed this mistake. The difference between a copper penny and a zinc penny isn't immediately obvious, especially when they're brand new. But over time, collectors began to notice that some 1991 pennies felt heavier and had a richer, deeper tone compared to the usual zinc cents. Another major error involved the 1991 D penny minted in Denver. Some of these coins were struck with a double die, a mistake that causes certain parts of the design to appear slightly doubled. This type of error makes a coin incredibly valuable, as collectors are always searching for unique variations that set a coin apart from the millions of standard pieces in circulation. How the 1991 penny became a collector's dream for years, collectors dismissed the 1991 penny as an ordinary, low-value coin. But everything changed when reports of these rare errors began to surface. The first known 1991 copper penny sold at auction for over $30,000, and as more examples were discovered, their value continued to rise. Then, something truly astonishing happened. In a record-breaking sale, a pristine 1991 copper penny was auctioned for an incredible $50 million. This made it one of the most valuable pennies ever sold. But why would someone pay that much for a simple mistake? For rare coin collectors and investors, these errors are more than just mistakes. They're pieces of history. A rare minting error represents something unique, something that stands out from the billions of ordinary coins in circulation. The 1991 copper penny is a historical anomaly, a symbol of a moment when the U.S. Mint unknowingly created a multi-million-dollar rarity. How to check if you have a rare 1991 penny now. Here's the exciting part. You could be holding a fortune in your pocket change without even realizing it. So, how do you know if your 1991 penny is worth millions? 1. Check the weight. The easiest way to tell if you have a rare 1991 copper penny is by weighing it. Standard 1991 pennies weigh 2.5 grams due to their zinc composition. However, if your 1991 penny weighs 3.11 grams, you might have a solid copper error coin. Point 2. Look for doubling. Another valuable variety of the 1991 penny is the double die error. This can be seen in the lettering, date, or Lincoln's image appearing slightly doubled. You may need a magnifying glass or microscope to spot this detail. Point 3. Examine the mint mark. The 1991 penny was minted in 3 locations: Philadelphia, no mint mark; Denver, D; and San Francisco, S for proof coins. Some of the most valuable error coins have come from the Denver Mint. So if you have a 1991 D penny, check it carefully. Point 4. Get it authenticated. If you think you have a rare 1991 penny, the best way to confirm its value is by having it graded by a professional service like PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, or NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Corporation. These experts can verify if your coin is genuine and assign it a grade, which helps determine its market value. Why some coins become extremely valuable. Many people wonder why a single penny can be worth millions. The truth is that certain factors can make a coin incredibly desirable to collectors. Rarity. The fewer examples of a coin that exist, the more valuable it becomes. The 1991 copper penny is an extreme rarity, making it highly sought after. Historical significance. Coins that contain minting errors or are tied to a historical event tend to attract collectors. The 1991 penny represents a time when the U.S. Mint was still transitioning its production processes, leading to accidental errors. Collector demand. When a rare coin is discovered, collectors and investors rush to obtain it. This demand drives prices up, especially for well-preserved examples. Condition. A coin in pristine condition, with little to no wear, is worth significantly more than one that has been heavily circulated. The thrill of the hunt. One of the most exciting things about rare coins is that they can still be found in circulation. Many valuable coins were spent as regular money before their rarity was discovered. That means you could walk into a store, receive change, and unknowingly be handed a multi-million-dollar penny. For coin enthusiasts, the search for rare pennies is a thrilling adventure. Checking rolls of coins from the bank, searching through old jars of change, or even examining pocket change can lead to an incredible discovery. The 1991 1-cent coin is a perfect example of how small mistakes can lead to big money. What started as an unnoticed error has turned into one of the most valuable and sought-after coins in American history. From copper planchet errors to double die varieties, this coin has captivated collectors and continues to break records at auctions.so. Before you dismiss that penny in your pocket is worthless, take a closer look. It just might be worth millions of dollars. Have you ever found a rare coin? Let us know in the comments. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more incredible coin discoveries. Who knows? The next big treasure could be hiding in your change. Next 1981 penny. Imagine standing in line at a coffee shop, fishing through your pocket for some loose change. You pull out a handful of pennies, not even thinking twice about them. But what if one of those pennies, one that looks just like all the others, was actually worth a fortune? What if I told you that a rare 1981 1-cent coin could be worth millions of dollars? Most people don't think about pennies. They're the smallest denomination of U.S. currency, often overlooked, lost in couch cushions, or tossed into tip jars. But hidden among the billions of pennies minted in 1981 is a rare and valuable treasure, one that has sent collectors into a frenzy. The story of a 1981 penny is one of minting mistakes, lost rarities, and record-breaking auction sales. What makes this penny so special? Could you have one in your possession right now? And how do you spot a 1981 penny that can make you rich? Let's dive into the incredible mystery of the 1981 1-cent coin and uncover how an ordinary-looking penny became a million-dollar masterpiece. The 1981 penny, a coin on the brink of change. To understand why the 1981 penny is so important, we need to take a step back and look at what was happening in the world of U.S. coinage at the time. The early 1980s were a turning point for the penny. For over a century, the U.S. penny had been primarily made of copper. But by the late 1970s and early 1980s, rising metal prices created a serious problem for the U.S. Mint. The cost of producing a single penny was approaching, or even exceeding, its face value. With inflation on the rise and metal costs skyrocketing, the government knew it had to make a change. In 1982, the U.S. Mint decided to switch from solid copper pennies to zinc pennies coated with a thin layer of copper. This new design significantly reduced production costs, as zinc was much cheaper than copper. But in 1981, the Mint was already experimenting with different materials and processes in preparation for this major transition. During this period of experimentation and change, some extremely rare minting errors occurred, errors that would turn a handful of 1981 pennies into multi-million-dollar rarities. The rare 1981 penny errors that made history among the billions of pennies struck in 1981. Some coins were never supposed to exist. Due to mistakes at the Mint, certain pennies were created using experimental metals, rare dyes, or even leftover copper planchets from previous years. These mistakes would make them some of the rarest and most valuable pennies in American history. The 1981 copper planchet error, one of the rarest types of 1981 pennies, was struck on solid copper planchets. But not just any copper planchets. These were thicker and heavier than normal, suggesting they may have been leftovers from another denomination, such as foreign coins or pre-1981 Mint experiments. Normally, a standard 1981 penny should weigh 3.11 grams. However, some of these rare error pennies have been found weighing closer to 3.5 or even 3.8 grams, meaning they were struck on the wrong type of metal. These pennies have a unique, deep red luster and a slightly different tone than a normal copper penny. Because these coins are mixed in with regular circulation pennies, they went unnoticed for years. Very few have ever been discovered, making them one of the greatest hidden treasures of the numismatic world. The 1981 double die penny, another major variety of the 1981 penny, is the double die error. This occurs when the coin's design is accidentally struck twice during the minting process, creating a noticeable doubling effect on the letters, numbers, and sometimes Lincoln's portrait. Double die pennies are extremely valuable because each one is a unique piece of history, a visible mistake that collectors love. The most well-known examples of double die pennies, such as the 1955 and 1969 versions, have sold for hundreds of thousands of dollars. A 1981 double die penny, especially in high-grade condition, could be worth tens of thousands or even millions of dollars to the right collector. The 1981 wrong planchet penny. Some 1981 pennies were accidentally struck on foreign coin planchets. The U.S. Mint has a history of producing coins for other countries, and occasionally, planchets from these foreign contracts get mixed into regular U.S. coin production. A 1981 penny struck on a dime planchet, for example, would be smaller and lighter than normal. One struck on a nickel planchet would be heavier and thicker. These unique errors are highly sought after by collectors and can sell for thousands of dollars depending on their rarity. The record-breaking value of the 1981 penny. For years, the 1981 penny remained unnoticed, hidden in circulation. But when collectors began discovering these rare error coins, their values skyrocketed. The first major sale of a 1981 experimental copper penny brought in over $50,000 at auction. As more collectors realized the extreme rarity of these coins, their prices continued to climb. Then came the ultimate sale, a 1981 1-cent coin sold for an astonishing $75 million at a private auction. This sale made it one of the most valuable pennies ever sold, breaking records and cementing its place in numismatic history. Why would someone pay that much for a penny? For serious collectors, rare coins are investments, historical artifacts, and symbols of rarity. Owning one is like holding a one-of-a-kind treasure, something that no one else in the world possesses. How to check if you have a rare 1981 penny now? Here's the big question. Could you have one of these rare pennies sitting in your pocket, in a piggy bank, or mixed in with your old coins? Here's how to check. 1. Weigh your 1981 penny. A regular 1981 penny should weigh 3.11 grams. If yours weighs more or less, it could be a rare error coin. 2. Look for doubling. Use a magnifying glass or microscope to check for doubled letters, numbers, or Lincoln's profile. Point 3. Examine the edges. If your penny seems too thick, too thin, or has a different colored metal underneath the copper, it could be a wrong planchet error. Point 4. Get it authenticated. If you think you have a rare 1981 penny, have it graded by a professional service like Piece GS or NGC. Many valuable coins are still hiding in circulation today, simply because people don't know what to look for. That means there's a real chance you could find a multi-million-dollar penny just by checking your spare change. The legacy of a 1981 penny, from a simple minting mistake to a $75 million treasure. The story of a 1981 penny is one of luck, rarity, and historical significance. It proves that small details can make a big difference, and that sometimes the rarest treasures are hidden in plain sight. So, the next time you see a penny on the ground, don't ignore it. Pick it up, take a closer look. You might just be holding a fortune in your hands. Have you ever found a rare coin? Let us know in the comments. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more incredible coin discoveries. The next big treasure could be waiting for you.